Hello everyone, here we are back in the Waking Sands, and I'm just going to talk to Tataru, and not on purpose, but just wanted to see what she had to say, and we'll finish off the quest that we had the last video, after we defeated Ifrit, and talked to Thancred, and so here we go. Scion of the Seventh Dawn. Ah, the triumphant hero returns. Thancred told us the news upon his arrival. He is presently in the Solar, giving a full report to Lady Minfilia. You should join them at once. Lady Minfilia is most eager to see you. My late arrival something because I accidentally hit a button and I missed the dialogue, and I wasn't there when they served her to Ifrit. Yes, by some miracle she survived, but that does not excuse the fact that she should never have had to face such dangers alone. I failed her utterly, just as I'm failing you all. What's done is done, Thancred. You can't ill-blame yourself for every... Celebrian, it is good to see you again. Impeccable timing, my friend. I had just finished regaling Minfilia with your heroic exploits. Thancred has told me everything. You have done well to return to us. The perils you faced were undeniably great, yet a part of me believes that I had no cause to fear, and now we can put paid to our long investigation. As we suspected, the Omlajah undertook both the robbery and the abductions with the aim of summoning their primal, Ifrit. Nor is the tale limited to Ul'dah. Similar incidents have been rife in both Limsa and Gridania of late. I dare say you've been curious as to how these crimes are linked to the primals. Permit me to explain. Having manifested it in the physical realm, primals must consume aether if they are to maintain their presence here, and the stronger they become, the more aether they require. Now, aether exists throughout creation, and flows through all life, and permeates the very air that we breathe. Alas, this alone will not suffice to sustain the likes of Ifrit. Nay, he and his kind require a more concentrated source of aether, crystals. It is for this reason that incidents involving crystals can often be traced back to a primal. Which leaves us with the why of the abductions. To understand this, you must first understand how primals are born. When all is well with the world, primals possess no physical form. Their essence is dispersed across the great river of aether. However, when the world is plunged into chaos, those who worship the primals cry out to their gods for deliverance from suffering. These cries serve as a beacon towards which a primal's essence is irresistibly drawn. It is this coming together, or etheric coalescence, which grants the being's physical form. Once born, a primal gains strength from its followers' worship. The more numerous and fervent they are, the more powerful their god becomes. But the primals are seldom satisfied with such reverence as their adherents freely give, and in order to gain more power, they do not scruple to create followers. They do this by tempering mortals, a process to which you yourself were subjected. Yet, even as if Ifrit took your comrades in his thrall, you alone remained unaffected. This is thanks to the power you possess, the Echo. We know not the why of it, but those blessed with the Echo are immune to primal influence. It is though a great power protects us. When first you came to us, I told you that the Echo would be instrumental in dealing with the primal threat. I trust you now begin to see why. The recent incidents all share a common trait: meticulous planning. Such elaborate designs are a new development, and one which fills me with an unshakable sense of foreboding. While I share your concern, my presiding feeling is one of relief at your safe return. The Immortal Flames assured me that they will deal with the aftermath, so you need not concern yourself with that. You may rest easy for a time. I suggest you take full advantage of respite, Celebrian. You may be sure it won't last long. Once the people learn the identity of the hero who felled Ifrit, I fear you will have nary a moment to yourself. Whether she intended to or not, Minfilia neglected to tell you something. Something I think it would be best you heard from one of us. It concerns the tempered abductees that were rescued. I am sorry to report that all are to be put to death, the flames with whom you were imprisoned included. Needless to say, this information must not be made known to the public. I swear to you that we would not do this if there were any other recourse. Once a man is tempered, he is tempered for life. His very existence lends strength to the primal whom he cannot choose but worship. And so we scions continue our fight, that no more innocents need be sacrificed. I hope that you will continue to stand with us, Celebrian. But I should be going. I must offer my apologies to the Flame General for the losses his people suffered. Till next time. Gods forgive me. How many more lives? Louisoix would never have allowed this to happen. I have to do better. I have to be stronger. And we'll just pretend we had some respite, which we kind of sort of did, but before we actually finish this. Minfilia is wearing a wry smile. Might it have something to do with your newfound fame? I wouldn't know. I haven't explored outside. Until not so very long ago, you were but one of the many adventurers seeking to make their way in Eorzea. But for your character and courage, you were raised to the esteemed post of envoy. Thereafter, you traveled the realm, aiding those in need without thought of reward, confirming to Thancred that the Scions would benefit from your aid. And no sooner had you joined us than you personally bested the primal Ifrit. You have achieved a great deal in a short time, and won fame in so doing. Alas, fame does not come without a price, as you will soon discover. We have guests, Librarian. Or rather, you have guests. Beg pardons! Ah, Lady Minfilia, radiant as always. I'm given to understand that the Scions of the Seventh Dawn have but recently welcomed a new hero into their midst. I'm here on behalf of the Maelstrom, Grand Company of Limsa Laminsa, to offer said hero a place of honor within our ranks. As you can see, Celebrian, your recent exploits have garnered you the attention of the Grand Companies of Eorzea. Each organization would have Ifrit's bane for its own. To this end, all three have sent officers to court you. They would not ordinarily go to such lengths to enlist a new recruit. That they have is evidence of their high regard for you. I find myself wondering how word of Celebrian's deeds spread so quickly, that the Immortal Flame should know of their triumph is to be expected, but what of the other Grand Companies? Eep! Tataru? Your reputation precedes you, mistress. 'Tis no ordinary woman who can face a primal and emerge the victor. The Order of the Twin Aider has now need of a valiant woman such as yourself, or such as you. Join your strength to ours, friend, and together let us ensure the peace ever reigns over the Twelveswood. What a pleasure it is to finally meet you, mistress. My comrades speak of you in the most glowing terms. Why, even before you aided us against the Almaja and their dead primal, yours was already a respected name in Ul'dah. Our people know you and love you as well. A woman of her talent belongs with the immortal flames. Join our strength to ours, friend, and together let us secure a prosperous future for Ul'dah. The Admiral was not exaggerating when she said you have the look of a hero. Full often does she speak of you, friend. It is only natural that we should want you for the Maelstrom. Join your strength to ours, and together let us see the grand vessel of Limsa to the shores of glory. Lady Manphilia. Very well. Though I'm quite sure you need no reminding, mayhap a brief summary of the situation would help to clarify your thoughts on this matter. As you know, the Grand Companies are all-encompassing organizations empowered to call upon the martial economic and technological resources of their respective city-states in times of strife. There are presently 3 such organizations in Eorzea: the Maelstrom of Limsa, the Order of the Twin Ader of Gridania, and the Immortal Flames of Ul'dah. Serving a Grand Company means serving the nation to which it belongs. You would be charged with its defense and tasked with advancing its cause. In return for your faithful service, you will be furnished with various rewards, some of which may well prove useful to you in your other endeavors. If you're agonizing over which of the Grand Companies best deserves your loyalty, be at ease. The commitment you make this day may not be permanent. Should you wish to shift your allegiance at a later date, you're entitled to do so. And yet I concede that it's no small choice you face. A thought occurs to me. You will, of course, recall that the 3 city-states are planning to hold remembrance services. Well, as part of the proceedings, I'm given to understand that the leader of each Grand Company will deliver an address. Hearing these addresses ought to help you make an informed decision. What say you, my dear officers? A fine suggestion. You are as wise as you are beautiful, my lady. Very well. Let Celebrian hear our leaders speak. Then return here with her decision. We eagerly await your answer. I know full well that adventurers are by their nature a liberty-loving breed, and not best suited to the discipline of military service. But I strongly urge you to join a Grand Company nonetheless. While the promise of reward is enticing in itself, it is not the only benefit. You are possessed of a great power, Celebrian, and with it you are capable of doing untold good. Yet know that great power is wont to attract attention, not all of it friendly. There will be those who wish you ill and must needs be on the lookout for them. Yet however vigilant you are but one woman. In the midst of a Grand Company, however, you will be one woman amongst many, a friend amongst friends. Your achievement will be shared, and so will the Oops, I double-clicked. Of course, joining an organization need not mean leaving another. I hope that we can continue to rely upon your aid. The 12 know that we will have need of it in the days ahead. The Grand Companies seek to protect their own nations. We Scions, on the other hand, seek to preserve the future of Eorzea as a whole. Similar, yet not quite the same. Now then, I expect that you will be afield more often in the future. As such, I would have you carry this link pearl with you at all times. It will allow us to stay in touch regardless of location. Eorzea is changing, Celebrian. I have the hope, and you have the power to help shape it anew. None can say what the morrow will bring, but so long as we believe in ourselves, there is naught we cannot achieve. Now it is time you must ready for your journey before you depart. But be sure to speak to Tataru. She will apprise you as to where and when the remembrance services are due to take place. Elder Seedseer speaks only truth, and her words have the power to touch the soul. At the sound of her voice, all fall silent and attend her. The Flame General is a passionate man, and his words never fail to light a fire in the belly of those who listen. I'm sure you will be no exception. When the Admiral speaks, even pirates listen, and that is no small thing. She is a born leader, the kind one would gladly follow to the seventh hell. With the power you possess, there will be those who wish you ill, and I'm not going to read that again. So, I'm probably going to go with the Immortal Flames, just because I was just more familiar with Ul'dah, and I of the speeches given, I liked the Flames, Immortal Flames one the best, but you will see that in just a moment. And, however, saying that, I really like the uniforms for the, those people. Shoot, what is it? Limsa Grand Company. Twin-Eater? Nope, that's the 12's Woods. That's Gridania. Flame Serpent? Flame Serpent, I think it is. Hence the red. And I will go talk to Tataru, who is out here. Tataru. I'm sorry about all the attention you're getting, Solarian. I may have sung your praises a little too loudly, and often to a few too many people. Next time I'll be sure to hold my tongue. Literally, if necessary. Anyway, I expect you want to know where and when the remembrance services are taking place. If all goes to plan, Gridania's Grand Company, the Order of the Twin-Eater, will hold the first of the 3 services, and Elder Seedseer Kane Sana will deliver her address at Mikito's amphitheater. I should probably mention at this point that due to the organizational challenges involved in assembling all of the involved parties, it's possible that the order of services might change. Still, there's not much we can do about that, so make Gridania your first port call. Next, you'll need to go to Ul'dah, where the Flame General Ruban Aldine will be addressing the masses at the Royal Promenade. Oh, and it's rumored there's to be a special guest. How exciting. Last but not least, you must take your way to the stateroom in Limsa, where Maelstrom Chief Admiral Mirwib Wolfisvin will be giving her address. The room is accessible via the Admiral's lift. Identify yourself to the sentry Xantheo, and he will admit you. Got all that? Well, off you go then. I hope you find the Remembrance Service suitably educational. I suggest visiting the city-states in the prescribed order, though with your record of impeccable timing and luck, the schedule may well change in favor of your preferred travel times. Farewell. AKA, it'll arrive when we arrive and start when we start. So we will go to Gridania first, as per suggested. And then we'll probably go to Ul'dah's next, unless some other reason. Got me a bunch of quests too. I will pick those up after I do all these. Purple quests, I think, are identify story-based ones, and sometimes they're required ones for the main story quest. Oops, that's... And thus, it will be important to tell you, because if you haven't happened to have done those quests, you will kind of get stalled out in your main story quest, and you say that you need to complete blah 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 quest before you can continue the main story quest, and that's mostly to avoid spoiler, and it doesn't hurt to do it anyway.
I lost my son to the calamity.
The 3 Seed Seers are all together.
Some say you couldn't take a step without stumbling over a body. Our forebears were once strangers in the Twelveswood. Fearful of the green wrath, they hid themselves in the dark recesses of the earth. Yet they dreamed of basking in the dappled sunlight of the forest. Through great effort, they proved their worth to the elementals, and were granted a place beneath the boughs. So it was that Gridania was born, some 5 centuries ago. Working hand in hand, the Hyur and the Elysian settlers sowed the seeds of our civilization, and soon they were joined by folk of all races. So nourished by the waters of unity, and blessed by the light of the matron, Gridania flourished into the great nation it is today.
Do you see the Gridanian standard? There, hanging behind the Elder Seed Seer. The entwined serpents represent the unity between Hyur and Elysian. An elegant symbol, do you not agree?
In accordance with the will of the elementals, we have embraced a life of peace. Alas, our neighbors have not always sought the same for themselves, nor for us. Though we Gridanians have no love for war, we have still less for those who would threaten our way of life. Ever have we fought to protect the sanctity of the Twelveswood. When the Garlean Empire brought its war of conquest to Eorzea, we rallied under the noble standard of the Twin Adder that we might push back the encroaching darkness. And it was we who prepared the ground for the reformation of the Eorzean Alliance, that all the peoples of this realm might stand united against the common threat. "5 years ago, the Alliance met the armies of the Empire upon the fields of Cartano. It would prove the bloodiest battle in recent memory. Countless Gridanian lives were lost. As Supreme Commander of the Order of the Twin Adder, ever shall I bear the weight of our people's sacrifice. Alas, their loss was not the only tragedy to befall us that day, for soon came the calamity. The scars borne by our forest are a constant reminder of its violence. Our lives have been irrevocably changed, each waking hour a struggle to survive. Driven to desperation, some among us have strayed from the path of righteousness, resorting to banditry, poaching, and other unconscionable deeds. To compound our woes, the Ixal have returned in force, emboldened by our suffering. They test our defenses nigh without cease, and prey upon the vulnerable. So beleaguered from within and without, it is of little wonder that our unity now falters. Dark
Time was a man could walk the high roads without fear.
On this day, 5 years ago, countless Eorzeans laid down their lives that we might behold another dawn. Please join with me in honoring their memory.
And how do you propose to honor the memory of those you cannot remember, pray tell?
destruction wrought by the calamity was indiscriminate. It dealt death to Eorzean and Garlean alike. Yet while we have labored to rebuild our homes, to rebuild our lives, the Empire has set about raising steel fortresses here in the Twelveswood. Let none be mistaken. The Garleans remain the greatest threat to our survival. If we are to stand against them, we must remember what it is to be united. Our many troubles blind us to the woes of our fellow man. Thence is harmony lost. Yet harmony is the founding principle of Gridania. We are gathered here to honor the fallen. Let them be honored not only in word and thought, but through concerted action. I bid you join hands with me once more beneath the Twin Adder standard. And together, let us heal the forest's wounds, that our progeny might live in harmony beneath these ancient boughs. For serenity, purity, and sanctity. We must think of the children!
Woods will be done!
It's up to us to protect the
Follow
forest!
the elementals!
If you'll permit me, Alfie No. And my sister, Alize, at your service. I saw at a glance that you were a fellow traveler. You might call us students of history, sampling the realm's remembrances in pursuit of enlightenment.
The Ixal are unquestionably the more troublesome, being of a natural warlike disposition and want to summon their bloodthirsty primal, Garuda. The Sylphs, by contrast, are peaceful in nature, being mischievous rather than malevolent, and have long been on friendly terms with the Gridanians, until recently at least. Alas, they have grown aloof, a change observed at roughly the same time they summoned the primal Ramu. The Gridanians have no love for war, and they consider open conflict a last resort. Though they clash with the Ixal ever more regularly, you may be assured that they do so in self-defense. As for the Sylphs, they are yet bound by a peace treaty, though one wonders how long it will be before it is broken. The Twelveswood was grievously wounded during the calamity, leaving Gridania vulnerable to attack. The people are hopeful that restoring the wood, and thereby the power of the elementals, will put an end to their woes. Yet how long will that take? Centuries, I'd wager. Meanwhile, the Ixal will continue their incursions, spurred on by Garuda and her insatiable appetite for destruction. Whether the Gridanians like it or not, sooner or later it will come to all-out war. And when it does, the Order of the Twin Adder will need all the help it can muster. How valuable might the aid of a capable adventurer prove to them, then? Apologies for cutting off the dialogue during the cutscene there. I clicked too fast, and then part of it I didn't read out because I had my mic muted and the key that I use for unmuting and muting automatically scrolls the next text. So, yeah. And I never realized how pretty that is back there. Anyway, so on to Ul'dah. And we'll have to end up going up there, but we'll go to the Aether Port and then that way. Oh, okay. I wanted to see if my home point was there or not, because then it would be a free teleport rather than the costly one that it is just now. And as it were, right over here.
Behold, 'tis the Sultana Nanamo herself!
And Roban as well!
Hark you, souls of flame, drawn to the bosom of the desert, where the fire burns brightest and shall rage forevermore. Hurrah! Rauban! Where since antiquity, under the sage and judicious rule of the Ul dynasty, we have wrought sand into gold. Where by the grace and glory of Naldal have our brave sons and daughters flourished and prospered. I speak of Ul'dah!
There, at the Flame General's back flies the Grand Company's standard. Note the sigil. The golden scales of order balance the jewel of prosperity with the flame of might.
Great and many are the gifts our nation has given the realm. In Eorzea's darkest hour, on the killing fields of Cartano, none spent more in blood and gold than we. Thus was the 7th Imperial Legion laid low.
So that's how it happened. How soon history forgets.
Yet many left our gates, never to return. Let us pray for our absent brothers and sisters, that they might know happiness in the great beyond, as Thal's honored guests. If the fates were fair, the price we paid that day would have bought us victory. Alas, they are not. And now, but 5 years into this 7th Umbral era, the spirit of sacrifice which granted us our strength is all but dead. Look around you. What do you see? A people divided, downtrodden and enthralled. Where are the merciful alms of the rich? Where is the just steel of the righteous? I ask you, is this the great nation our brothers and sisters gave their lives to save? You who call this living, dishonor the name of the immortal flames. It is but a slow death. Our enemies surround us. The savage hordes of the Amalja wait beside our roads, strangling the lifelines of trade. Meanwhile, the Garleans make mock of our borders and despoil our land of its natural wealth. We stand on a precipice, yet we do not act. Whether trader or soldier, monetarist or royalist, all must recognize that a divided Ul'dah stands to fall. Victory and fortune walk hand in hand. Ye who seek glory and wealth, look not to what little you can snatch from your neighbor, but to the boundless wealth of the world beyond. Now is the time to unite. Now is the time to ride forth. In the name of the Sultana, I beseech you! Line not your own coffers, but those of the immortal flames. Seek not to prosper from Ul'dah, but to restore her to prosperity. As the realm prospers, so shall Ul'dah. As Ul'dah prospers, so shall her people.
Ja, for Ul'dah!
Together we are one.
Your Grace.
Raoban? People of Ul'dah, I, Nanamo, 17th in the line of Ul, address you. Much has been made of the wealth of Ul'dah. Yet those who measure that wealth in coins and carats are gravely deceived. For the true wealth of Ul'dah lies in the health, happiness, and hopes of her people. Beloved subjects, I bid you raise aloft the torch of Ul'dah, that her flames might serve as a beacon for all Eorzea to see.
Long live Nanamo!
Glory to the Sultana!
For victory and fortune, stride fearless into the inferno, for we are, by fire, reborn! Forsooth?
The time is now!
I fancy meeting you again.
The Uldans have a long history of conflict with the Amalja, the beast tribe that worships the primal Ifrit. Judging by your look of distaste, I take it you have encountered them. The Uldans do not shy from confrontation. If aught threatens their precious posterity, they will seek to crush it. So they have dealt with Ifrit thus far, smothering his flames each time he is stoked to life. Yet he is but one of several problems. Though they have been quiet these past 5 years, the Garleans have not gone away. Meanwhile, refugees continue to arrive in droves, and Ul'dah has no clear policy on how to deal with them. After all, not even the Sultanate's coffers are bottomless, and even assuming they had the coin, resources will never be finite. Which brings me back to the subject of Ifrit. It has been observed that the Amalja are summoning him with ever-increasing frequency. Every time they do so, the Uldans send their forces to smite the Primal, and though they invariably succeed, each victory is bought with blood. It is a war of attrition which they cannot well sustain. Small wonder then that the Immortal Flames are eager to recruit more members. At such a desperate hour, an adventurer of your experience would be a most welcome addition to their ranks. For their sake, I hope that the Flame General's words struck a chord with you. And now on to Limsa Lominsa. Here to attend the remembrance service. Be quick, the Admiral is due to give her address at a moment.
The Garleans are another matter altogether.
So much for our alliance.
It's sunk beyond the seabed.
Brothers and sisters of the sea, hearken unto me. Look upon this, our mighty crimson standard, and tell me your hearts do not swell with pride. "700 summers have come and gone since our forefathers first ran aground in this fertile bay. In that time, guided by the Mother of Oceans, Limsa Lominsa has grown from humble fishing village to uncontested ruler of the 5 seas and beyond.
Ah, yeah, ah, ha, ha, yeah, ha!
Did you look as the Admiral bid you? It is a rather stirring standard, I must say. The crimson field is meant to signify the blood of fallen crewmates, while the black longship represents a pirate vessel.
When the Garlean Empire marched upon Eorzea, we assembled beneath the Maelstrom standard, and our Grand Company was reborn. All answered the call, from the Knights of the Barracuda to Hilthier's bloody executioners, and together we met our would-be conquerors upon the field of Cartano. That day, the world bore witness to the united strength of Limsa Lominsa. I swear to you no army ever fought harder or with more courage, yet many of ours did not survive. Join me now in remembering those who fought in the name of freedom and fell. May their souls be returned to the sea.
Freedom. Yes, they have always been rather fond of their freedom. Much as the beast tribes have. Small wonder. Beneath the surface, one would struggle to tell them apart.
It has been 5 long years since the calamity struck. 5 long years of tireless rebuilding. Yet still the wounds of the calamity fester and weep. But when I stand atop the mizzenmast and gaze out upon our battered and broken vessel, I see an undying spirit. Did we not build all this from the wreck of the Galadian all those centuries ago? Shall we not do so again? Yet there are those who would see this ship of ours sink beneath the waves of the restless Rotano. The Sahagin creep ashore seeking blood for their accursed god.
Those fishback
The Sahagin have risen?
While the mines of Ogomoro spew forth kobolds who push ever south, despoiling our lands as they go. These savage beast tribes will be the first waves to crash against our creaking hull. And behind them swells the grim tide of the Garlean Empire. Even now the curs fly their flags within our borders. Doubt not, but that they will be upon us ere long. We are well nigh surrounded. Yet there are those among us who would rather turn their swords against their crewmates than our cannons against our foes. How can we hope to repel our many enemies when mutiny breeds below deck? There is but one course left to us. One bearing that will bring us victory over the beast hordes and the Empire both, and see this ship safe to port. We must mend the rift the calamity has reopened twixt pirate and maelstrom, and stand fast with our adventurer brothers against the coming tempest. Mark ye well, a crew without unity is no crew at all. 'Tis but a mass of drowned men. To me, then, brothers and sisters of the sea, gather beneath the undying crimson standard and pledge me your strength, your skill, your wisdom. And with the guidance of the navigator, this great vessel of ours shall ride the waves till sea swallows all.
Long live the Admiral!
Admiral Melvin!
Gather the lads!
Ha! Where's me cutlass?
I'll follow ye to the 7 hells, Admiral!
fancy meeting you again.
I feel like you said that just a moment ago. As the Admiral mentioned in her address, Limsa Lumensa is plagued by 2 beast tribes. The first are the fish-like Sahagin, worshippers of the primal Leviathan. The second are the kobolds, who dwell beneath the earth and take the primal Titan for their god. As if the beast tribes' presence weren't troublesome enough, the Garleans have also chosen to erect a fortress right in the Limson's backyard. And that is to say naught of internal strife. As a nation of pirates, there is no end to the blood feuds between the various factions, and while they fight amongst themselves, the Garleans whet their blades and watch. If the Limsons are to have any hope of withstanding the Empire, they must first resolve their own affairs. Differences must be set aside, and the primal threat dealt with once and for all. To this end, I expect that they will soon take decisive action against the beast tribes. Mark my words, the Maelstrom Standard will be drenched a deeper shade of crimson ere long. That a capable adventurer like you would be a valuable addition to her crew is beyond question. So in terms of aid, Limsa Lumensa definitely seems to be the place. And yet, Ul'dah has many refugees who also need great aid, especially with all the stuff that's going on there. Celebrian, this is Minfilia. You are well, I hope. Would I be correct in thinking that the final remembrance service has now concluded? You would be correct. A moment ago, you say? What a coincidence! Jesting aside, I trust you remember our guests from the Grand Companies? Well, delighted though we are to have them here at the Waking Sands, it would not do to keep them in suspense any longer than necessary. In short, hurry back! On my way, ma'am. And back into the Waking Sands. And we will go talk to Minfilia. Minfilia. Welcome back, Slabrin. Were the Grand Company leader's words as illuminating as you had hoped? Aye, each nation is beset with problems. I trust you sure now why your services are in such demand. Would that there were more of you, Celebrian. But you must be tired from your journey. Why don't you rest a while and take a moment to reflect on your decision? Once your mind is made up, pray give the Grand Company officers your answer.
The gods only know what grand company our adventurer friend will keep. The wheels of change are in motion regardless.
Brother, are you certain this course is best?
Whatever do you mean, dear sister?
The so-called remembrance ceremonies were little more than standard waving rallies. As though the Calamity and Seventh Umbral era warranted scarcely a mention.
Well, of course they were standard waving rallies. Since you are so observant, mayhap you noticed what mention was made of the Warriors of Light? None. I suppose they must have forgotten the heroes who spared Eorzea a fate worse than the Calamity? No, dear Alisaie, they haven't forgotten these details. They have elected to omit them. Deep are the wounds the calamity inflicted upon Eorzea. So deep, in fact, that the realm still bleeds. Needless to say, the beast tribes and their primals do little to alleviate the pain. So, the task of salving Eorzea's wounds falls to the scions of the Seventh Dawn, with a little help from our friends, the Grand Companies. Remembrance will yield no remedy. If our world is to heal, we must put the horrors of the calamity behind us.
Our grandfather would never entrust the fate of the realm to despots who rewrite history to their convenience. There must be another way to cure what ails this world, and I mean to find it.
You are most welcome to try. Our paths may differ, but our destination is the same. In time, I dare say we will see eye to eye.
I should hope so.
My lady!
We are to escort you!
Hope does not come into it. We share the burden of this fate, dear sister, and will prevail together or not at all. The salve will serve not only to close up our present wounds, but prevent old ones from opening anew.
And so now we have select a Grand Company. So we either talk to the Serpent Officer, Flame Officer, or a Storm Officer. And I take it the Elder Seer's words have touched your heart. Have you resolved to entwine your destiny with that of the Twin Aider? And no. Forgive me. In my eagerness to embrace you as a sister, I mistook your intention. How was the Admiral's speech? But you need not explain. You stand before me now is answer enough. You have resolved to join the Maelstrom, have you not? Nope. Well, I dare say you have your reasons, but mark me, in storm seas, the strong of arm and stout of heart must pull together, or the vessel will founder. And when a ship goes down, the passenger always shares the fate of the crew. Remember that. Welcome back, adventurer. I take it General Rubon's words kindled a fire within you? And yes. Excellent! I fear that the incident with the traitor may have soured our opinion of us. It gladdens me to see that isn't the case. But before we can count you as one of our own, you must be formally inducted into our ranks. The Immortal Flames recruitment officer seems eager to welcome you to Ulda's Grand Company. Please proceed to the Hall of Flames and identify yourself to the personnel officer. I will notify him of your coming. With your strength joined to ours, we shall surely prevail over our enemies, be they beastmen or Imperials. And thus we will go teleport to Ulda. And we will register with the Immortal Flames. Ouch. And by ouch, I kind of hit my nose as I was scratching it. Or not scratching it, I was adjusting my glasses. And ended up hitting my nose because I was trying to get some hair, cat hair, off of my nosy because it was making my nose itch. Anyway, Flame Personnel Officer. What brings you to the Hall of Flames this morning, adventurer? My name is Celebrian. I believe you're expecting me, and or I'm here to enlist if you will have me. I thought as much. You are just as our man at the Waking Sands described. It is an honor to meet you, madame. Now, in order to formalize your... Sir! Speak, Private. Imperial, sir. They fired on a highway skyways airship. Scouts say she's coming down to the west, near Horizon's Edge. Bloody hells! Of all the times for this to happen! Celebrian, there's no time for formalities. The Immortal Flames need your help now! We're in the midst of a large-scale operation against the Almoja, and we have no one to spare in Western Thanalan. You must get to that ship before the Garleans do. If there are any survivors, see that they do not come to further harm. Now go! Yes, sir! On my way, sir! Yes, sir! And that's not the button I was looking for. Horizon's Edge. It's same kind of distance, but it's probably faster to go this way because I think it's on that side anyhow. And or in the gorge that's there. We'll find out shortly. And this way, run, my friend. And my friend, I mean my character. I'm just blabbering at this point if you haven't caught on. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. And yes, I believe it is in the gorge. Unless, oh no, I see it, the flashy, shiny light thingy right there. And you know, the ship that's not normally there, right there. And I moved the camera instead of my mouse. Uh-oh, I see Garleans. Airship crew. Proceed. Run away! Run away! Oops. An adventurer? What are you doing out here? No, wait. Let's find some cover first. Okay then. The Immortal Flame sent you? How do I know you're not an Imperial spy? You don't even have a uniform. I'm sorry, but formalities aside. Are you alright, sir? Our scouts reported the attack on your craft. We've come to rescue you. Celebrian, yes? Glad to have you with us. It's okay. I have not seen a craft of this design before. That trailer Garland has been busy. The secrets of Magitech are ours by right. They are not to be squandered upon the savages of this land. We are taking this craft back to the fortress. Dismantle it if you must, and bring the engineer. Someone must pay for Garland's crimes. Uh-oh. They need to take the ship back to Castra Meridianum, along with your friend. Wedge, you have to help him. The fool of a Lullafell was hiding inside the tiny Bronco. Nice looking ship and shoot, I clicked again. Ugh. It's the first airship we've built since the Calamity. The first since Master Garland, well, since he went missing. I know where he is. After years of work, she was finally ready for her first test flight. And she was soaring, she really was, till those jerks blasted her out of the sky. We attack on my command. Kill them quickly and save the Lullafell if possible. Oh, it'll be possible, because I say so. Is that clear, Celebrian? Yes, sir. Yes, sir, indeed it is. Show them what becomes of those who play with fire. Charge! And you'll just stay there, because, yeah. I like his sword. We're under attack! To arms! Defeat the Imperial soldiers. So, as you can see, those ones are there. I'm going for these ones just because. And I'm gonna zoom out to make sure I don't miss anything. I usually attack the ranged and the magical creature people, bad guys first. Oops. Let's actually select a enemy. You should also attack the healers. What are you doing? Kill them, I said. Where's the bloody vanguard? We need it now. And this one, you definitely want facing away from them. And hopefully it'll... There we go. You want to make sure he's facing away, otherwise your comrades will probably die fairly quickly. And I'm just gonna try to attack these guys, since then they can help me with the bigger guy. And now see they're all attacking. Where's that buddy? Ha ha ha! Show them no mercy! A bit slow in reading that, but it's one of those cases where the stun is very effective because it'll prevent them from running. And there we go. Defeated. And they're also alive. Biggs! Wedge, you shouldn't have stayed with the ship. That was a close one. Too darn close. So how's she look anyway? The auxiliary propeller is a dead loss, but I think we can wring enough thrust from the main propeller to get us airborne. A few minor modifications and we should be able to fly the tiny Bronco home. The Imperials will come looking for their scouts, but we can defend this position until the engineers leave. You should go, Slytherin. You still have unfinished business to attend to at the Hall of Flames. You're not quite one of us yet, though anyone who had seen you in action today would be forgiven for thinking otherwise. I Just wanted to say sorry, you know, for calling you an Imperial spy and all that. Got that one wrong, didn't I? Seriously though, if I hadn't been for you and the Immortal Flames lads here, we'd be chained up in a dungeon by now. I'm in your debt, friend. We both are. Wedge. Thank you. We're very grateful. Nope, I do not want to participate in the fate. I'm just gonna teleport. And over. Welcome back, Solarian. Word of your deeds in the field reached me not long ago. Exemplary service. Rest assured that the Garland Ironworks engineers are fine. They were able to get their vessel back in the air before Imperial and reinforcements arrived. Oh, for Pete's sake, I clicked too fast again. At least this time I can do this. Your willingness to assist us on such short notice is to be commended. Clearly your reputation is well deserved. Now then, I believe we have some unfinished business. Shall we continue from where we left off and induct you into the Immortal Flames? Yes, sir. Please, sir. Certainly, sir. Whatever. The personnel officer stands ready to complete your induction into the ranks. Are you ready, Celebrian? Then let us begin. Celebrian, you stand poised to enter a sacred trust. The flames of Ul'dah burn bright, casting light where there is dark, and purging evil wheresoever it lurks. We are ever ready to meet the nation's enemies in battle, be they beastmen, Garleans, or worse. And at a word from the Flame General Raban Aldine, we would gladly lay down our lives to maintain the peace and prosperity of Ul'dah. To join our ranks, you must forsake all other nations. Only then may you commit yourself to the fire and be reborn as an immortal flame. Burn as one of us, Celebrian, and together we shall chase the darkness from Ul'dah. Will you swear an oath to mark this occasion? My sword belongs to Ul'dah. What skills I have belong now to Ul'dah. I will follow the Flame General unto death. Or you just stay quiet, and in this case, I shall go with my sword belongs to Ul'dah. Spoken like a soldier. You do well here. Very well. Your resolve is plain. Celebrian, I hereby confer upon you the rank of Flame Private 3rd Class. Welcome to the Immortal Flames, Private. May you fight to the last for coin and may you fight to the last for coin and country. Can you hear me, Celebrian? This is Menphilia. An officer of the Immortal Flames contacted me with news of your enlistment. My congratulations, Private. I have no doubt that you are eager to make the acquaintance of your new comrades, but I would ask that you pay a visit to your old ones first. Remember, though you are now a Flame of Ul'dah, you are no less a scion. Pray return to the Waking Sands at your earliest convenience. There are some friends here whom I would very much like you to meet. We shall be waiting. And I actually forgot there was special little music there. And so you are now a member of a Grand Company and have been assigned the rank of Private 3rd Class. Your Grand Company and rank can be confirmed at any time under the Profile tab in the Character interface under Character in the main menu. Grand Companies pay their members not in gil but in company seals. You can confirm how many seals are currently in your possession under the Currency in the main menu. Seals can be earned by completing various Grand Company missions. A Grand Company Quartermaster is stationed at every Grand Company headquarters and will exchange items for company seals. Company seals are only redeemable with the Grand Company that issued them. So I can't use Immortal Flames company seals at Limsa Lumensa or Gridania, and vice versa, and all the other combinations. The Grand Company of Eorzea are in constant need of supplies and provisions. To maintain their daily operations, adventurers can earn experience points and company seals by crafting or gathering the items required in delivering them. Speak to a Grand Company personnel officer or one of the many officers stationed throughout the realm to complete the delivery. Items sought change every day, Earth time, and they can be confirmed by selecting timers located under Duty in the main menu. And I kid you not, but it took me over a year, or almost a year, to actually remember this little bit of information. Or they changed it during some time in one of the patches, and I didn't find it until, so helps if I don't accidentally double click a couple of dozen times. Whoops, I don't want to change the camera, I want to move this up. So here you see there's the fashion report, leave allowance, but then these will show you what's required. These stars represent those that are in high demand, basically, so you get extra experience and company seals for having donated them. And you get further still more bonuses if you give them high quality versions. And then that's for Grand Company stuff, or free company stuff, I guess. So undertake supply and provisions, and we are not currently using that because that's level 5, so we might as well give that over. And you see we got experience for our goldsmith, and our goldsmith just leveled up to level 3. And we also obtained 16 flame seals. And then provisioning, this is for your gathering, an expert delivery. It'll show you, so for example, if we had bound gear that is untradeable, or well, if you have untradeable items, you can turn them over to your flame, or well, whichever personnel to obtain. You can hand them over to whichever Grand Company's personnel person, and then you will get seals for them, rather than hanging on to them. And Swift believes you should get your first chocobo. Private Saragon, yes, a moment of your time, if you please. You wish to carry out your duty swiftly, do you not? Well then, perhaps you should get yourself a chocobo. If you're interested in the Immortal Flames, we'll furnish you with one. It's not a complex process, but it does require some paperwork. First, speak with a quartermaster to obtain a flame chocobo issuance. You'll need to exchange company seals in order to do so. Once you've received your issuance, now show it to the Mimigun by the Gate of Nald. He'll be at the one to furnish you with a bird. So we talked to him. No, wait, who does he say we talked to? Sorry. Pay attention there. Quartermaster. So flame quartermaster there. And here under this, it will be flame chocobo issuance. And here oh yes, we need 200 seals. We only have 16. So an easy way to grind it, or just do some of those crafting things, or some of the let's see, so there's the crafting or the gathering, And you can only give them once per, so if we did these, we would get 78 right off the bat, so then that would put us to 90 something. And then here, a bunch of other seals. You can also get seals from doing fates and other means, so I will probably work on that in the meantime, and then I will record when I actually get the Chocobo, so that way we can get the Chocobo and so we can have faster travel and all that sort of stuff. But in the meantime, we will pick up this quest here. Whoopsie doopsie. Several adventurers are having difficulty summoning the retainers. Should you wish to offer your assistance, you will find these troubled souls in Limsa-Lominsa, Gridania, and Ul'dah. So this was a quest that was in Gridania and Limsa-Lominsa as well. The rewards will be the same regardless of whom you help, so do not hesitate to aid the adventurer of your choice. In this case, we'll just stick with Ul'dah. Something weighs heavily on the adventurer's mind. Is this darn thing working? Oh, hello there. Say, you look like you're an old hand when it comes to this adventuring business. Mind helping me with a situation? I sent my retainer to Drybone the other day on a venture, hunting to be precise. Simple enough work, right? Except now she's gone missing. Much as I'd like to head out there and look for her myself, though, I know full well that I'd be feeding the buzzards before long. So if you're willing, I'd be much obliged if you could go to Eastern Thanalan in my stead. And Eastern Thanalan, he said? Over this way. And we will teleport there. And then we will head on over to the Waking Sands. Novice retainer, who apparently requires assistance. Retainer. You, madame, are a saint. I thought it was done for. What's that look for? I take it you've never seen a retainer on a hunting venture before. It's a regular part of my duties these days. Though, I admit it, I'm not very good at it. Oh my, is that who I think it is? Hello? Yes, she arrived in the nick. I'll return at once. I'm afraid I don't have time to stay and chat. Duty calls. But thank you again for saving my life. I wish I could reward you somehow. But I know. Go and tell Chacha, my supervisor, how you helped me. You can find her at the Sapphire Avenue Exchange in Ul'dah. Be sure to pay a visit. And this is basically introducing retainers, which I just did in the last video. So we will teleport back to Thanalan. And it shouldn't take me too long to get the enough seals for the Chocobo, but I'll make sure to record that part and then add it to the next video, if not to the end of this one, because I will probably end up getting it right after. I want to go that way, don't I? Yes, I do. I'll probably end up getting it right after I'm done recording this video, but rather than having to edit a whole bunch of other extra footage, I will just do it afterwards. And I never noticed those kites up there. Amusing. Oops. Trying to be all cool and look behind me and failed miserably. Anyhow, so yeah, I will work on getting that chocobo right off the bat. After this, probably do some gathering and or crafting, as that is the fastest way, and I don't want to go to the market board. I usually only come over this way for the market. And I forgot there was a summoning bell right there. Greetings, miss. Is there aught you require? I know exactly of whom you speak. This was not their first incident. Mayhap she lacks the fortitude to undertake ventures. Oh dear, I know that look. No one has informed you of our latest services, have they? In cooperation with the Adventurers Guild, we have established a new system through which retainers may be dispatched to procure items for their employers. Should you wish to avail yourself of this additional service, you will need to pay retainers in advance for ventures, which are scrip issued by the Adventurers Guild. I gather you have none in your possession, so allow me to give you a token sum. Actually, we already do have some because of the lead quests, but your retainers have received basic instruction on a variety of disciplines, but they want for experience. If you would like them to undertake anything more than most menial of tasks, you will need to furnish them with quality equipment and give them opportunities to hone their skills. So long as you bear that in mind, I would think you will not be disappointed. And so we get 6 ventures, and we won't send our retainer out yet. I plan on for fishing, but because my fisher is still like level 1 or 2 or 3, there's not a whole lot that the current retainer would be able to do because they cannot exceed the current level of that class of yours. So say my class was level 10, even if the retainer goes out and it would give experience to the point of level 10, it won't go any higher than level 10. So say it levels to level 10 and then goes out, it won't accumulate any experience until your character is level 11. And by character I meant your class of fisher or whatever other class. You may now dispatch retainers to employ on ventures. Summon the retainer you wish to send afield and follow the instructions to begin. So just for the sake of doing this, you can now send your retainers afield on procurement expedition known as ventures. Before you do so, however, you must first assign them a class. After summoning a retainer, select Assign a Retainer class from the Retainer's menu to begin. And in this case, since we only have Chachifu, I'm here, up here. And then we would assign a retainer class, and your retainer cannot undertake ventures unless you assign his or her class. This can be one class with the exception of those of the Disciple of Hand. Your retainer's class determines which ventures he or she can embark upon. Please be advised that you cannot assign your retainers a class you have not yet unlocked. So in this case, it gives us the list of all the ones that we can. Fisher, Botanist, Miner, Arcanist, Thaumaturge, Archer, Rogue, Lancer, Pugilist, Conjurer, Marauder, and Gladiator. And yes, I read that in reverse order, just because that's where I was pointed. And I was going to say, so here's all your main Disciple of Hand and Disciple of Magic classes, and then here's your 3 Gathering classes. So your retainer can be assigned any one class with the exception of those of Disciple of Hand. While it is possible to reassign classes, please be warned that your retainer's progress in the current class will be reset. A retainer's class determines which ventures he or she may embark upon. Retainers gain in level by completing ventures, but their level will never exceed your own. So the reason why I would choose Fisher is because in the level 50 range, you can get some minions, and particularly the Fat Cat is one of them. And you may have seen it with some of my videos, or some of the video footage of my main character, because that's the minion that I have currently equipped. And just because I can show it to you, kind of, sort of, This is the fat cat here. Despite convincing research by top academics from around the realm and beyond, most Bikote scholars refuse to believe that there may be some ancestral connection between the race and cats, fat or not. And as you can see, they're mostly expensive. Some of these, like these, all of those are like super old. And I know that because one of these in the lower range is one of my retainers. And my fat cats have been selling in that range. Before you can purchase an item from the markets, you must first find it, and there are 2 different ways you can do this. One involves doing a direct search by typing blah 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 blah. I will just let you guys read this stuff. I won't read this out. Because this is more of information that you need to know if and when you do that, and it doesn't really matter for the playthrough. Okay, so now we are going to go to talk to Menphilia, and it's unfortunate we don't have enough company seals, because then we could have ridden our Chocobo. And we will head on over to talk to Menphilia. Or... well, it says speak with the sign of the 7th dawn. So I guess that's the person outside of the solar. We work in shifts to ensure efficiency. Hello, Papalamo. Or Papalemo. Following the calamity, each nation's armed forces underwent large-scale restructuring centered upon its Grand Company. In Gridania, the Order of the Twin Ader absorbed both the Wood Whalers and the Gods' Quiver, while the Limsons enacted the complete merger of the Maelstrom and the Knights of the Barracuda. Ulda is the odd nation out, having made no notable changes to its armed forces. As before, and in the spirit of the Sultanate, each entity retains a certain degree of independence. Let me see if I have this right. You're an adventurer. Who is a scion? And a flame? Golly, how do you keep track of everything? It must be fun pairing up with lots of different people, though. Me? I'm always with Papalamo. Come to think of it, why am I always with Papalamo? Yeah. Talk to the devs. Welcome back, Celebrian. Lady Menphilia waits for you within. Welcome back. It seems you wasted no time putting your skill to work. How do I know? Why, the recruitment officer called to regale me with the tale of your heroics. The pride in his voice was palpable. We Scions are truly fortunate to have you with us, Celebrian. Now, when last we spoke, I said that I wanted you to meet some friends, did I not? Well, and I neglected to mention that you have already met. Tataru, please show them in. This way, sirs. Hello, Wedge and, Biggs. Thanks again for getting us out of that mess. We owe you our lives. But I don't think we've properly introduced ourselves. I'm Biggs. And I'm... Man, spit it out, will you? Wedge, at your service! I am pleased to say that Biggs and Wedge will be staying with us for a while. Magitech-driven contraptions such as airships grow ever more vital to the city-states of Eorzea. As a neutral party, it was judged that the Scions should serve as the keepers of this technology. Of course, for this we needed the knowledge of experts, and so we requested the assistance of Garland Ironworks, who very kindly sent us 2 of their finest engineers. Our happy family continues to grow. On behalf of the Scions, I bid you welcome to the Waking Sands. Like every soul here, I love Eorzea, and I count myself blessed to have been given this chance to stand with you all and fight for the future of the realm. Never have I known such fulfillment, such happiness. and so depending on what this quest is, this will be the last one for this video. Minfilia needs you to investigate the sylphs.
Now, having set aside the formalities, we have a favor to ask of you. Urianger, have the documents arrived from the students of Baldessian?
Aye, my lady. They arrived but recently.
We have conducted a study at the behest of the Order of the Twin Adder. Papalimo, Ida, a synopsis if you would.
Our task was to survey the behavior of the sylphs, a beast tribe indigenous to the Twelveswood.
Oh, how to describe them. They look like gisselcreens, floating ones, that worship the primal Ramu.
Ahem. Though technically a beast tribe, sylphs are blessed with a comparatively personable demeanor, conducive to peaceful communication.
Offering us an invaluable opportunity to learn what the beast tribes know of the primals.
While Ramu's existence is well documented, the sylphs do not, or perhaps cannot, summon the primal any longer, insofar as can be ascertained. Until such time as we know, it would be unwise to assume that the threat posed by the primal has passed.
Which leaves Gridania with the added worry of not knowing what they should be worrying about.
In that regard, they are hardly alone. What we can say with absolute certainty is that Gridania has its hands full fending off Garuda, who, I need hardly remind you, is among the most savage and terrible of all known primals.
In short, it is essential that we approach the sylphs in as diplomatic a manner as possible. Words and actions can be misconstrued. The only sure way to communicate our intentions is the echo. Winning the sylphs' favor may well bring us a step closer to mitigating the threat of the primals. Will you help us?
Of course.
I am grateful.
Lovely. Well, as much as I'd like to help, I'm afraid I would be of little use to anyone in Gridania. A veritable babe in the woods. Ida and Papalimo, however, should be able to see the forest for the trees. Is that not so, Minfilia?
Indeed. You are willing?
Leave it to me.
Us, Ida, us!
So, as I said, I will just leave the video with this, and we will continue and pick up from that point with the self-management, since that's over in Gridania, and subsequent quests will be there as well. So, that's it for this video. Thanks for watching!